Please help me in welcoming the 2013 National Teacher of the Year, Jeff Charbonneau.
I haven't even said anything yet. Wow. How you doing, Washington? Man, you get a standing ovation from a crowd like this and I haven't even talked yet. That's amazing. Maybe I need to stop now. You know, I think we need to start off the same way I start off class every day. Welcome back to another day in paradise. Boy, look at this place. Look at the diversity in this room. Look at the differences of thoughts and opinions and ideas, and the strength and passion that people have in their voices. Man, that's amazing. Isn't this what we want our classrooms to look like? Don't we want our classrooms to look just like this room? We want to see our students develop and grow opinions and ideas of their own, and to share them boldly and with conviction, and to be able to debate in an open forum without argumenting. Boy, what an awesome embodiment of what education should look like. Thank you so much. You know, I want you to think back to when you were in school. And I want you to think about the single most important thing you learned. Now, I know for some of us it was a while ago. The gray hairs are starting to show. But what was the single most important thing you learned? You know, I'm willing to bet, even though I'm a chemistry teacher, it probably wasn't the names and symbols of every atom on the periodic table. I'm willing to bet it probably wasn't the quadratic formula. Probably wasn't the difference between a split infinitive and a dangling participle, whatever that is. I'm willing to bet that you learned something else. I'm willing to bet that whatever the most important thing was to you was an emotion, was a feeling. Maybe it was confidence. Maybe you learned how to stand up for yourself in school. Maybe it was self-reliance. Maybe it was how not to procrastinate. No, I didn't learn that. But probably what it was something about you. You see, that happens in public education. Public education is about the student first and about the content second. It's not about the standards, it's about the students. It's about learning about the students and showing them how to learn about themselves. That's what we do. The problem is people ask me all the time, what do you teach? And it's a really hard question to answer. I've broken it down into 6 main points. I think we do 6 things as educators. First and foremost, we recognize that every single day is the most important day in the lives of our students. You see, when I was a newspaper carrier at 15 and riding my bicycle around Zilla, I could deliver the paper 99 days in a row without fail. But I sleep in just one time, and I get phone calls like crazy. You know, the same thing is true with teachers. We can be great 99 days in a row, but one single ill-timed comment, one single piece of sarcasm, and we might lose a student for the rest of their lives. How many of you ever heard, oh, I wasn't really good at math? You see, I had this math teacher once that, and the story normally goes back to a comment that a teacher made. Good quality educators understand that every single day is important and that every single moment could change a child's life. And that's what we do. Number 2, we absolutely do not allow failure. Failure is simply not an option. We say things like, can't does not exist in my classroom. When a student says, can I go to the bathroom? You say, I don't know, can you? I hated that when I was in school, and I was shocked when I said it to my own students. But I do it every day. You see, we set up these barriers to say, no, absolutely not. You cannot fail. I will not let it happen. And I'm going to make you succeed no matter what. That's what we do. Good quality educators do it every single day. And I'm not just talking about teachers, I'm talking about counselors and librarians and staff associates and staff helpers. All of us work together to literally bombard our students until they realize learning the material is easier than skating by. That's what we do. Number 3, we recognize that all students deserve help. Absolutely every single one of them deserves our help. Yes, I'm a science teacher. I teach chemistry, physics, engineering, and architecture. I'm also certified in biology and earth science. I do a robotics program in my school. And because of all of that, I'm also the assistant drama director. Naturally, I would also be the yearbook advisor. And I am. You see, STEM is important to me. You have to understand science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is important. But so is the A. So I do believe in STEAM. But there's a slight problem there. You see, I am old enough, even though I am a boy, I am old enough to realize that a few years ago something else was important. Anybody else remember something called reading? A few years ago, reading was really important. So I don't know if it's STEM, I don't know if it's STEAM, I don't know if it's a stream of knowledge. Somewhere within all of this, we need to make sure that we're teaching the whole child, that we're recognizing the value of all of our educators and the value of all of education. You know, I gotta admit, I was on Twitter this morning, looking around, seeing what was happening at the RA. And I was vastly intrigued by the range of issues that were being brought up. And I saw a tweet by Amy Watkins. I don't know if Amy is in here or not. There you go. Amy took a different take on it. She says, hey, maybe it's not STEM, STEAM, or STREAM. Maybe it's a steamer. And maybe we got to bring in English too. You know, at the end of the day, let's just bring in the whole alphabet. Let's bring in all of the concepts and all of the abilities of our students and teach the whole child. That's what we do. Number 4, we find solutions. Yes, there are problems in education. I have yet to find a school that says, well, I have too much money, I need to get rid of some. If you're at that school, give me a call, I'll help you. So there are funding deficiencies and there are inequities left and right. But as quality educators, we use duct tape over and over and over again. And we figure out a way to make it happen for our kids this year, today, in our classrooms. We find solutions no matter the problems. That's what teachers do. Number 5, we help each other. We help each other with in-house professional development. We help each other by going into each other's classrooms, going into the libraries, and talking with our paraprofessionals. And we ask each other how we can continue to improve. From things like national board certifications to master's degrees, somehow, some way, we band together as a group. And we figure out how we can all improve. That's what we do. And lastly, number 6, we create a culture of high ambition and success by leading by example. We show our students on a regular basis that we're going to get up on time and at school every day, that we're going to dress up in ties and jackets, and we're going to teach them with a professionalism that shows that we too care about education. You see, that's what education is. Nowhere in all of that did I get hung up on quantum mechanics and figuring out what the 4th quantum number is. You see, all of that comes second. All of the standards and all of the rigor will follow when we place our values on our students first. You know, I'm a STEM teacher. I believe that. I'm a STEAM teacher. I'm a STEAMer teacher, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's not my job to create the next generation of scientists. It's to help create the next generation. You see, I'm just as proud of the students who have gone on and become pharmacists, the students who have gone on to become teachers, as I am of my hairstylist, who does a great job, and she's a former student of mine. I'm proud of every single one of them. Because that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be creating a generation of people who love their careers and love their jobs just as much as we do. That's the purpose of education. And you've got to be careful. You've got to remember that those students graduate and become us faster than you think. One of the scariest moments in my life occurred about 4 years ago. My wife was in labor and we were at the hospital. I was standing there doing something. She was just laying there. I don't know. And I noticed something on the heart rate monitor for my daughter. It beeped for a while, and then it flatlined for a while. I called in the doctor. She came in, and you can tell by their faces the doctor wasn't worried. She was about ready to walk out, and then it flatlined again. The doctor turned and said, "Push." And she wasn't talking to my wife. She was talking to me. Like I'm supposed to do something? And she meant push the bed. I went to the back of the bed, I pushed from behind, and I rolled her as fast as I could down the hallway, down to the emergency operating room. You know, I used to think that hospitals were slow-moving places. But when that doctor said, "We're taking the baby now," people literally came out of the walls. I don't know where they came from. They're like nurse ninjas. And suddenly we were swarmed. People were putting a gown on me and a hat. And I walked into the operating room. And within 3 minutes of the time that doctor said push, she was lifting my daughter out of my wife's stomach in an emergency C-section. She passed her over to one of the other nurses. And then I heard my daughter cry. And I breathed a little sigh of relief. And everybody was okay. My daughter turns 4 in just a couple of days. The point of that story is this. When I was in that operating room, all I could see was this. And the nurse who had my daughter was putting the name band on her leg. She turns and looks at me and says, "Jeff?" And I said, "Yeah?" And it was the mom of my best friend from high school. She helped deliver my daughter. And then I heard Charb, which is what my students call me. And I froze. 3 of my former students were nurses in the delivery room. Two of them I was really excited about. The point is this. I did not make them great nurses. I did not make them great citizens, but they are. And they were my students, and I am so incredibly proud of them. Because our students are us. Always remember that, and always teach with that conviction. And finally, realize the power of your voices, the power of the impact that you have. The teaching that you do is leadership. The teaching that you do is paving the way for the next generation. And we need to continue to raise our voices and continue to improve one of the greatest nations in the world and improve some of the best opportunities for students to succeed. Public education in the United States is doing tremendous things. It is an absolutely beautiful entity, and I applaud and thank you for the work that you do to continually improve it. My name is Jeff Charbonneau. I teach at Zillah High School in Zillah, Washington, and I'm raising my hand for all teachers in the United States. Thank you very much.
Jeff Charbonneau, National Teacher of the Year 2013. Give it up.